Who wants to talk about training smart young people to move into the field of discovering this sort of thing? The need for a larger cybersecurity workforce. How are we going to get there? Any of you looked at my Cyber Scholarship Opportunities Act, which expands scholarships for students pursuing degrees in this area? Who wants to talk about that? Yes, sir.
That's something that the Florida Center for Cybersecurity is very focused on. And we work with the 12 state institutions across the entire state of Florida to foster education in cybersecurity. To date, for example, just from the 12 state institutions, we have got 43 programs, graduate, undergraduate, and certificates that's offered around the state. If you take all of the educational institutions across the state, there are over 100 programs. So it is extremely important not only to teach the students enrolled in these programs, but also to create the interest in the younger generation, high schoolers and middle schoolers, who show an aptitude for cybersecurity because they are more adept to learning it very quickly than some of the older generation is. And as such, we have summer boot camps. We go and train the trainers, as well as talk to the different constituents and stakeholders in the school districts to make sure that they get involved at a very young age. We have to create a very large cybersecurity workforce. Last year, 300,000 jobs went unfilled around the nation. 13,000 of them were in Florida alone. That's an alarming number which is going to increase exponentially. So we need to take this very seriously and create the cyber workforce that we need.
What salary, before I turn to you, Dr. Griffiths, what salary would a young person start out at, and how much training would they need?
Well, there are various levels of education. Our bachelor's graduates are starting at about 85 to 90,000. Our master's graduates are starting in the low 100s. We have a 100.
That ought to get somebody's attention.
It certainly should. I mean, but there are two other areas in addition to what my colleague has talked about, what we do in the university sector. We're also working at two other ends of the spectrum. We're working with K through 12, with elementary schools. We have 2 elementary schools in Sioux Falls. We have 3 elementary schools and 2 middle schools that have a heavy computer and cyber hygiene curriculum, and we're looking potentially at extending that and broadening the base of participation. We are also working with our College of Education so that every one of our education graduates has a certification in technology, which includes cybersecurity. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we're working on workforce development. We've built a set of stackable credentials, working with the technical institutes, working with our school districts, and working with the State Department of Labor. We've got certificates which you can carry into associate degrees, which you can carry into master's degrees. This is an approach to allow people who might not be destined for a traditional 4-year university career, but sort of want to actually get an apprenticeship in industry, get some credentials while they're there, work for a couple more years, then decide to go on and add some courses to get their associate's degree, etc. That's addressed both to graduating high schoolers as well as underemployed graduates of high school, as well as people who wish to change careers. And we think that also is a replicable model. We're working it in Sioux Falls, and we expect that to extend across the state and beyond.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mannion.
Sure, very briefly. As a hiring manager, I am a huge fan of the existing federal scholarship for service program. That exists currently. I'm not sure how it scales. I'm not sure of your experiences with it, but I'm very happy to see scholarship for service students' resumes come across my desk.
Yes, Ms. Dodson.
Yes, the National Institute of Standards and Technology coordinates the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, working with academia, working with K through 12 programs. And through these kinds of collaborations, we are able to share lessons learned, like Dr. Griffith's work that they are doing in South Dakota and other states. We also have put out, with our other federal agency partners, a guide that can be used for people who actually need this workforce to understand the kinds of skills that they need and to be better prepared to help students, bring students together with potential employers, as well as that workforce readiness, so that we are prepared not just today, but we are prepared for tomorrow and the cybersecurity challenges that will face us.
Mr. Chairman, it seems that South Dakota and Florida have very excellent leadership.
No argument there, Senator Wicker.
Yield back.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Wicker. We've been joined by Senator Blumenthal.